All right, so today we're really going deep on something that's, well, it's gotten a lot of hype, but it could also, I think, really change things. We're talking Bitcoin. And by the end, you might see it in a whole new light. It's more than just, the price going up and down.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people just focus on Bitcoin as an investment, but to really get it, we got to zoom out. Ask a more basic question, like what is money even?
Hmm, seems simple, but I bet it's way deeper than we realize, huh? We use money every day,
Yeah.
but do we ever think what makes it, like, valuable?
Right. I mean, history's wild, right? People use shells, even livestock, as money. But gold and silver, those stuck around, not because some king said so, but because of what they are. Scarce, durable, easy to carry around. It wasn't random. Those traits made them valuable on their own.
So, like, for ages, paper money was basically a coupon for gold somewhere, right?
Uh.
But didn't that change big time in '71 with, was it the Nixon shock?
Bingo. That's huge GE. The US dollar, it went off the gold standard. No more tie between paper money and something real. And that's how we got fiat currency, money based on trusting the government, basically. So think about it. Our money depends on faith? That's pretty wild, especially with Bitcoin around.
And that brings us to it, Bitcoin. It's money, digital money, but also like a network for payments. People call it digital gold a lot, and not just because it sounds cool.
You got it. Scarcity, that's the link. Bitcoin, there's only so much, like gold. But here's the thing. Normal online payments, those are just numbers in a bank's computer. Bitcoin. Every transaction, it's on this public record, the blockchain.
Okay, blockchain, I've heard the word. But how's that work in practice? If no one's in charge, how do we know payments are legit, safe? This is where I get kind of lost.
This is where it gets really clever. Think of a giant spreadsheet worldwide. Every Bitcoin deal, it's tracked there. But it's not one spreadsheet, it's copies on thousands of computers. That's what makes it so secure, almost impossible to mess with.
Like a global puzzle, all spread out. But then, how do you solve this puzzle?
Those are the miners. People with super powerful computers solving crazy math problems. That's proof of work. It checks the transactions, adds them to the blockchain. Whoever solves it first, they add the next block of deals, get Bitcoin as a reward. So everyone's competing. That keeps the whole thing honest.
All right, starting to click. But what if someone tries to cheat? Make up fake transactions?
See, that's the beauty. Blockchain's tamper-proof, basically. Each deal is linked to the one before. It's a chain, literally. Want to change one, you got to change every block after it on every computer. Impossible. It takes way too much computing power.
Like trying to rewrite history itself. So that's how it's different from, say, Napster. That got shut down easy because it was all on one server.
Exactly. Bitcoin's like BitTorrent, spread out, decentralized, no single point of failure. Want to censor it, control it, you got to stop the entire network. That's power, especially these days.
Powerful's right. But, okay, why should we care about this decentralization? Sounds cool, but how does it affect, normal people?
Imagine no more needing banks, governments to handle your money. You control it. You can pay anyone, anywhere directly. No one interfering. That's decentralization's promise. That's why Bitcoin's shaking things up.
It's a lot to think about, especially when we see how Bitcoin's being used around the world. It's ready to get into that. So last time we got into, like, the history of money itself and how Bitcoin actually works. But what gets me is, how is it being used to make a difference?
Yeah.
Especially in places with, rough economies.
That's what's exciting. It's giving power back to people, especially in developing countries, where the regular systems, banks and all that, they're not cutting it.
Yeah, the documentary had these stories, right? People dealing with hyperinflation, their savings wiped out just like that. Or they can't even get a bank account because of red tape, or there's no banks where they live.
Yeah.
That's a lot of folks.
Millions, for sure. And Bitcoin's a way out. You protect your money, you join the global economy right from your phone. No borders, no one saying, no, you can't send money, just need the internet.
It's huge for folks shut out of the system. I remember those examples like Venezuela, Zimbabwe, Nigeria. Bitcoin's their emergency money when everything's going haywire.
Like in Venezuela, they talked to this woman, Sarah. She said Bitcoin, that's how she kept her savings from vanishing, how she bought food. It's a lifeline for tons of people stuck in that kind of mess.
It's like they're finally in control of their own money. And it's not just holding on to it, right? Bitcoin helps them start businesses, grow the economy where they are.
You got it. Access to global markets, no middlemen taking cuts. Small businesses can boom. It opens doors that were slammed shut before.
Makes sense. But there's that argument, right? Bitcoin's too wild, the price jumps around, can't be real money. What do you say to that?
Well, yeah, It's had ups and downs for sure, but it's getting overblown. More people using it, the market maturing, things will smooth out. Don't forget, this is still new tech. Early days, like the internet back in the day.
Like, remember dial-up? Everyone was like, is internet fad. Now look at us. Bitcoin could be the same for money. Who knows? But okay, even if it's awesome, there's got to be practical stuff to figure out, right? Like, I hear it's slow and costly to actually use Bitcoin.
True, but they're on it. There's this thing, the Lightning Network, built on top of Bitcoin, makes things fast, cheap, can handle way more transactions.
It's like Bitcoin on turbochargers. I like that. Seems like they're constantly inventing to solve these problems.
Non-stop. Developers, they're making the tech better every day. The more people use it, the more creative they get. It's exciting.
Definitely is. But here's the thing. Bitcoin makes people powerful, but that means the folks in charge, they got to be feeling the heat, right?
Yeah.
Governments, central banks, they're not just going to ignore this.
Oh, they're definitely paying attention. And now they're all about making their own digital money, using blockchain. That's the buzzword.
Is that really progress, though? Or are they just trying to, like, hijack the whole idea? That's what I kept wondering, going through this stuff. What do you make of it?
Yeah, it's like we've been exploring this whole new world, right? What Bitcoin is, how it can help people. But now it gets kind of murky. Like the powers that be, they're definitely scrambling.
Right, you got to see Bitcoin, it flips the script on how finance works. It's like, who has control? Who's got freedom? And those lines, they're getting real blurry.
Totally. Every country, they're making their own digital money now. Blockchain this, blockchain that. Sounds fancy, but is it the real deal?
That's the million-dollar question. Are they getting the point? Blockchain's not just tech. It's about being open, nobody calling the shots. That's what Bitcoin folks worry about, you know?
So it's like they're saying blockchain, but not walking the walk, still holding the reins tight.
Bingo! Remember what the documentary showed us? Those two sides. You got Jamie Dimon, Mr. Big Bank himself, saying Bitcoin's a scam.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Big talk coming from the guy running JP Morgan, huh? Made quite the splash. And on the flip side, you got Bitcoin believers saying, listen, banks, they're dinosaurs. This decentralized finance thing, that's the future. People in charge of their own cash, no more suits telling them what to do.
Feels like we're picking sides, almost. Two paths for money, and they couldn't be more different. It's a lot to wrap your head around.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. We all got to decide, what kind of system do we want? The old way, controlled from the top down. Or one where each of us has more say, more freedom. What does your ideal future look like?
Heavy stuff, right. This isn't just about tech. It's how we think about money, power, all of it. Gets pretty philosophical.
And the doc nailed it with that line, right? Bitcoin, it can either enslave us or free us. That's how big this is. No two ways about it.
So if it really is digital gold, like people say, what happens to money as we know it? I'm going to be thinking about this for a while, that's for sure.
It's the question, isn't it? And we're just getting started. Bitcoin, blockchain, all this, it's like the wild west right now. Who knows what's coming next?
We've covered a ton in this deep dive. More than just the hype, right? We got into how Bitcoin ticks, how it can change lives for the better, but also how it's shaking up the whole system.
It's a disruptor, no doubt. And this conversation, it's going to keep going for a long time. That's how you know it matters.
So, listeners, what's important now, you keep digging into this. Make up your own mind. Don't just take our word for it. Be part of figuring out what money's going to look like tomorrow.
That's it. Keep those questions coming. Keep learning. And stay curious. Because the future, well, we're all building it together.